The Bears will be hosting the Los Angeles Rams. Both teams are 1-2 this Sunday on the lakefront. And yeah, man, Derrick Rose retired. Teresa Weatherspoon got fired. We got a lot to talk about in this hour, but let's start it off with the beloved, with the Chicago Bears. Big week. Big game. I feel like the fate of Chicago sports is on the line Sunday on the lakefront, man. But we got to kind of talk about what happened this week. When we went on the air on Monday Night Football had not started. We did not see the amazing performance that Jaden Daniels was going to put on that night, and that sent Bears Twitter into a hellhole. I mean, my brother talked about a little bit on 7 Night the Hallis about how stupid the conversation was. I kind of went fake viral this week with the reel we put out. TikTok does not like me, by the way. TikTok niggas hate me. Like, if you look at my comments, it's ridiculous, but keep watching it because I've been getting more and more TikTok views. I think I did like damn near 10,000 this week off those 2 TikToks. So keep supporting me. Keep calling me a fucking idiot because it's helping me out. But if you look at all the things, all the people that people criticize about with Caleb Williams, going on saying the Bears made another mistake of who they drafted the quarterback. That they should have got Jaden Daniels, and he's not a leader, he's not that. It's something that Mikey said on the show last week that I think that all Bears fans need to brace, and that's the fact that Caleb Williams is the villain. It just is what it is. Nobody likes this nigga, and this went back to last year. With the pain of the nails, crying to his mom. We even talked about that on the show. Mental health matters. And I feel like as Bears fans, we just got to accept that shit, that you got a quarterback that a lot of people just don't like for no fucking reason. And you just got to understand it and kind of just stand beside him, I guess is the way to say it. And just when this turns around, be ruthless with it, because I personally will. I think this whole conversation this week, I really feel, I understand where Bears fans are coming from. We all thought that they would come off to a better start than they got right now. I don't think the 1-2 record is that much of a shocker. I think it's the way that the offense has been playing, the way that the team has been playing is why everybody is very, very close to losing it if they lose this game this week. So I get that. I just don't get the going off the deep end and saying that we should have did this, we should have did that as far as who they should have drafted, because it's 3 games. And if you actually watch these games, I know a lot of people don't, Jaden Daniels wasn't nothing special in the first 2 games. Jaden Daniels had a great game on Monday, no doubt. And I'm not taking nothing from him, but I also feel that Bengals defensive line and Bengals defense is trash. There's a reason they're 0-3. So he was able to have more of a cleaner pocket than he usually had. That offensive line isn't that much better than the Bears' offensive line. A lot of people going off saying, we should have hired Cliff Kingsbury. I remember when Cliff Kingsbury was in the building in Halisaw this past winter, and a lot of fans were like, we don't want him. Keep him away. See what he did in Arizona. We heard that many, many times. So it's like, let's not have buyer's remorse 3 weeks in. And that's not saying that Cliff Kingsbury won't end up better than Shane Waldron. That's not saying that Jaden Daniels won't eventually be better than Caleb Williams. I don't know. It's 3 games into it. It's way too early for all that. And here's the thing that's kind of like the cherry on top, just shows you how Bears fans are, is let's just say the Bears would have drafted Jaden Daniels and let Caleb go on to Washington. And Caleb would have had that game that Jaden had on Monday against Cincinnati. What did the talk on Bears Twitter would have been? The Bears passed up another generation of talent, like when they drafted Mr. Trubisky over Patrick Mahomes. You can't really satisfy these people, man. And I understand the emotion, and I understand that Bears fans have been traumatized. But in the words of a nigga that we all hate, Aaron Rodgers, relax. I'm not saying relax about the team. I can't promise you that the team is going to get better. But I feel real good about this kid. For the first time in my life as a Bears fan and as a member of Bears media, when I look at the offensive struggles, my main concern is not the quarterback. I actually think he might be good enough to actually get through the bullshit he's in, even though you don't want to be in that bullshit to begin with. I'm going to bring in Bang and Dante for this, man. Bang, I'm going to start with you, bro. What do you think about the discourse this week? And do you think that we just need to embrace the fact that Caleb is probably just a villain?
I think Caleb is a villain, but I don't think he's a villain within the Bears, within Bears Twitter, Bears fans. I think that's more of Bears trauma, as you've said on many occasions. We finally got the new shiny toy, and we're afraid that we brought that toy home and it's broke, and we can't return it. And that's how I think some people feel about this Caleb Williams situation. I don't think it's warranted, but that's what happens when you go years without having a potential star quarterback, right? I think that's the issue here. So it's not that he's a villain. He might be a villain outside, but he's not a villain within the organ, or like within Bears fans. I think they're just more like, man, we finally got something, and man, I pray that it's Huff. It's almost like you finally bagging the girl, and you just hope that everything that night is gonna be like how you want it to, and you scared you gonna finally get that shot, and that shot gonna be Huff. That's how the fans feel right now.
And what I mean by villain is not Bears fan. I don't think he's villain of Bears fan. I mean like
Oh,
to the
okay.
national media and
Oh,
national fans in general.
okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, to answer that part of it, anytime you're the number one pick, you're gonna be a villain in some sort of way, and it don't help that the Bears organization is what it is. They're gonna pick at you. They're gonna nitpick. They're gonna do all of those things. Nick Saban, when he was talking to Flus, pretty much like, yo, all of these expectations. So I think he's dealing with a whole bunch of expectations. Plus, he was the USC kid who transferred from Oklahoma. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's did everything. So, of course, everybody is going to nitpick. So, he's a number one pick. All of this comes with the territory. They did it with every number one pick that I can remember in my lifetime. They tore them down. And the ones that came back up, they praise them. There's a reason why there's Omaha Productions. And that's because when Peyton Manning ass was look at Peyton Manning. Matter of fact, just think about it like this. Peyton Manning could have came out the year before. The Jets would have drafted him. He knew it. I'm staying at Tennessee one more year. He goes to the Colts. He huffs it up the first year. And people are like, oh, is he really who they say he is? And they loved him ever since. So I ain't worried.
Dante, what's your take on this week's discourse?
I don't think villain is really the right way to phrase it or frame it. He just as Bang just said, he's simply the number one pick. This is what comes with that. I think with us being in Chicago and being so quarterback hungry, it's a situation where we have extremely high expectations, and seeing the guy picked right after him succeed early while he struggled, and it's been the same struggles we've seen with poor offensive line play. We feel like the routes don't make sense in the offense, and all of those things happening. So now it's just like, oh fuck, here we go again. But no, I don't think villain is the way to portray it. I think a lot of people usually root against the number one pick. Like is always going to say, well, we expect you to come out and just light shit up, and because we've had it happen more frequently in now as opposed to the past, those expectations have risen even more. So with a guy like Caleb, who's a Heisman Trophy winner, who's had all the expectations since he was in high school, of course, people are seeing him, have mixed results in the early stages, and they're like, oh, see, here we go. And so I don't think he's a villain, but it's just those are the expectations of a number one pick in today's game. It's like, we set this team up for you. We obviously, as Bear fans, we go more in depth, and there really are certain things they didn't address that they should have addressed. But we set this team up for you to the point where the national media was saying no rookie quarterback has ever come into a better situation. So now, based off what the precedent they set, they're sitting there saying, well, what the fuck is going on? Now, Keenan Allen's been hurt and other things. But at the end of the day, they expect Caleb and his supreme talent to overcome all of that. So I don't think he's a villain, but I think, you're just really seeing what happens with a number one pick. And, we've never had that in this city. Like we have, we drafted Rex Grossman, Kate McNown, guys like that, and, later in the first round, but we've never had that scrutiny of a number one guy. Even with Justin, he was the 11th pick, and we traded up for that.
Yeah.
But we never had a guy that was, expected to come in day one and be a guy. So even with Justin, they expected him to, have some growing pains and things that he has developed. So that's all you're just seeing is people saying, okay, you were advertised as a complete package. What's going on?
Yeah, I think too, I do think it's a mix of that. But even before the number one draft thing, I just think that people don't like Caleb because he's kind of like the first Gen Z quarterback, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like he moves a different way. He's wired a different way. The nigga paints his nail. A lot of people don't like that. A lot of people don't like when he shows his emotions and things like that. And I think a lot of people, like you just said too, they want to see number one picks fail, but also I think a lot of people just like laughing at the Bears. And this is why I always bring back my comparison of the Bears being the football Knicks. A lot of people just love like laughing at the Knicks to the point where logic goes out the window when it comes to Knicks because it's like fuck the Knicks. They're the Knicks. They should always lose. I think it's the same way with the Bears. I think people just outside of Bears fans and outside of reason, people just want the Bears to continue to lose. And I think for the average fan, it'll be nothing funnier than the Bears to get the number one draft pick and the guy who's been held as the guy since what fucking high school to fall flat on his face. So I think that's part of it as well. But I do think that if and when this does turn around, I think there'll be a little bit of change. For right now, and this is just me too, not just the fans. We just got to stop reacting to shit because I found myself reacting to a lot this week. I cussed a lot of money. I actually challenged a nigga to a fight on Instagram. I'm on Twitter this week. So that just tells you that I need to stay off that damn app. I told nigga I'll beat his ass. I forgot what the fuck.
Do we have to have another conversation?
Hey man, we can have all conversations we want. And like at the end of the day, I have to just put the phone down, which I did not do that on Monday. I was very annoyed this past week, but we got through it, man.
So cool.
Triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm